Welcome to today's Priceless.com city tour. We are today in Munich at the Werksviertel, which is one of Munich's cultural hotspots, and we're going to meet Loomit. Loomit is one of Germany's most famous graffiti artists. I'm Barbara, I'm working for MUCBOOK, who is organizing this event today. Follow me.
Hello.
Hi, Loomit. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. So you have a lot of questions about the work here.
I brought a lot of questions for you. First of all, would you like to introduce yourself?
My name is Matthias Köhler, but I'm more known as Loomit. I'm doing graffiti since 1983, not this millennium, the millennium in the past. I was one of the first doing graffiti here in around Munich. I was not even starting in Munich. I was starting in a very small village, 100 km away in the west of Munich. And I moved about in the same year. I started graffiti to Munich, which was a broader opportunity for me to do space. So I used it. I was doing a lot of illegal stuff in the 80s, early 90s, but soon also already in the 80s, we had chance to have big legal spots here in Munich. And the first legal spot we had here was from 1985 on, big walls, about 3 stories, 1 block long. So we started very early big productions here in Munich. And we're very happy because Munich is a city where art in general is very appreciated. We have a lot of museums, and so also the public was not too hostile towards graffiti. Even in the press it was illegally done, but look good. So we got away with a lot of things here. And now we're here in Werksviertel, which used to be a huge food factory.
Okay.
Yeah, and I got this place in 1996, 1997, so it makes a long time already. And in this time, we had so many artists here, so many different artists from all over the world. But I'm very happy to have right now a festival which is different from all those I had so far, because it's a strict female street art graffiti festival.
Okay, that sounds very interesting. First of all, where are we here? What is this? This is your atelier?
Well, yeah, this is my workspace, and as you see, there's not much of a convenience here beside 2 power plugs and the lights. Everything here is dirt, color, and whatever. And you see, I'm using a lot of actually it's overleft, it's garbage what I'm using here. We had for the last 25 years a lot of buildings who were changed in paintings, and so the stock of not used paint grew and grew and grew for the last 2 decades. So this is all these overlefts I'm using now for the artists over there. So what we do is basically an upcycling here. I'm using a lot of things that people would throw away. And I have a little bit the knowledge how to turn this into really good colors again. The quality is not damaged by the time. It's simply how you deal with the color afterwards in steering it properly, using a couple of chemicals to get rid of mold, for example, if they stink and everything, and all this is something I do in here. So that's more like a alchemy, chemistry, laboratory as well here. But on the other side, I'm also sketching here, I'm having spray paint, all different materials, ladders, everything you need.
So you're preparing all your materials here and then you go out with the stuff.
That's it.
And can we talk a bit more in detail about the material you're using? So what we see here is not special spray paint, but it's old wall paint, and you are now kind of preparing it to use it on the wall, and then you kind of paint with brushes or...
What do you see here?
Okay.
Oh, this is the things we use. And you see also, it's all old rollers. We're not using a lot of new things because it's all about how you treat your materials. Because these rollers sometimes are very expensive. You don't look like. I mean, we're having a lot of dirt here, but the important thing is to clean them right. I mean, a lot of people just use a roller once, throw it away, which is a waste because this is material. This is metal, this is plastic, this is sometimes lamb fur, and this is very expensive. And what I do is also, sometimes I'm teaching here, how to clean this, not to use a sink, because most of the people would go, oh, full of color, zinc, blah. And this is what you see in the colors. It's basically petrochemistry. It's oil. It's not belonging in the environment. It's not belonging in the sewer. So I teach them how to clean rollers with the use of a wall and a little bit of water. So at the end, all the color that's in there is on the wall and not on the floor, not in a sewer, nothing. It belongs on the wall. So I'm working with this thing, leave the least damage we can have. Like, it's a lot of chemistry anyway, so I'm totally aware about what we're working, but I try to minimize the damage in nature.
And when I think about graffiti, it's always about like spraying, but
that's over there.
But how much of the work you do is really spraying, and then how much is like using this kind of techniques? Like
working in the street is about efficiency. You need to have you have to have a plan about what you do, like a sketch and everything. And the rest is efficiency. So a spray pen is nice because you have a variety of cans available you put pressure on a button and that's it. You have the paint on the wall, but it doesn't make the size. We're working on bigger scales, so spray paint is not very useful if you go for 3 stores. So what's useful there, of course, lifts and rollers and sticks. Okay. I mean, this is sort of a remote control because like a can you can basically just use where your hand is. Means if I'm spraying something up, I need to climb up a ladder. I do not need this if I use a long stick. So I can stay on the ground and sketch my stuff up there, what you will later see. And this is about the efficiency. When it comes down to square meters, lower than a square meter, spray paint. Bigger as a square meter, rollers.
And when you are lower than the spray paint, you can use a pen, right?
It's markers.
Markers.
A pen would be good on paper, but the markers have acrylic paint in them, which is also like water, not water, but weather resistant. Okay. You work outside, so that means rain, winter, snow, ice. So the color you use needs to be weather resistant, temperature resistant, and that's not every pen.
What do we see on this wall here? What's the technique you use here?
Very simple. Actually, these are new products. And this is a marker. This is what we were just talking about. It's markers.
Yeah. Okay.
Just a normal pen. You see, like also there's all different sizes. You see the little elephant here? This is also a marker. This would be weather resistant. I could do this in the street. It could rain, be freezing, whatever. No problem at all. It's not a normal felt pen you use for drawing indoors. So that's like really color in a marker. So what you see here is actually something new. It's spray paint, as you see with the elephant. Pretty much spray paint, but it's the new form of spray paint. It is water-based. Means the thinner in the spray paint used to be nitro, whatever, acetone, whatever. But now the EU gave sort of like the impulse of banning most of the bad chemicals in spray paint, meaning like the thinners. So now we have the new abilities of spray paint. You can use water and you can mix the colors. So what you see here is a brush. It's basically spray paint, water in a brush, and I can use the spray paint just as normal acrylic colors from a little bottle or whatever you can buy in the shops. It's like a new involvement in the colors. They get more environment friendly. In general, they're never environment friendly, but they get more to that point that it would be environment friendly. So we have like a new mix here, but the rest, this is all spray paint. And also to get the wall white, as you see, there's graffiti underneath it. That's where you come in with the roller.
You were talking about that it's of course all like chemistry you're painting with. How is it with your house? Is it dangerous to paint and to spray?
As you see, I have certain jackets and I have masks, I have gloves.
So this jacket was yellow before, right?
As you see here, this is the original color. And it's all about clothing. I mean, I have gloves normally I'm working when I'm painting. That's why I have a little bit paint now because I have to help sometimes outside and I haven't got my gloves always on me, but normally I have. So use gloves because spray paint is something you have thinner and the skin breathes. So if you have spray paint, lacquer spray paint on your skin, it damages your body because like the skin will take in the thinner, it will circulate in your blood, end up in your liver, in the fat surrounding of your liver. So Alcoholism has the same effect.
Okay.
Yeah, so what you use is gloves and a respirator. Like I'm Darth Vader normally. If I have spray paint, I have these huge respirators, and to wear masks. Now everybody does it, yeah? I'm doing it already for the last 35 years, so I'm used to masks already, and the heavy ones, so paper masks,
So
whatever.
you're using it like?
A lot, yeah, all the time when I'm using spray paint, it's a discipline. It's a discipline. If you use the mask, you rather stay healthy longer. If you, well, whatever, play your macho things like, I don't need a mask, that's for somebody who's like, whatever, you probably die earlier because like it's really heavy chemistry in there.
So now, yeah, it seems you have a lot of expertise in the field. So do you teach others in like graffiti art or in the techniques and stuff?
I'm going to schools for the last 24 years already. I'm working with the city of Munich. We have a project that's called Kids, Kreativität in die Schule, where there's about 40 schools all over Germany, all over Munich, not Germany, just Munich. And we have like primary schools, we have sort of like Mittelschule, something like for kids who are maybe not that intelligent and kids who are a little bit more heavier to teach, and these are the classes I do. And what I actually teach the most is sketching. I mean, the techniques, the spray paint, the marker does nothing. I tell the kids basically like a pencil. Yeah, I can take the pencil, I can take down your telephone number. The pencil is a tool for giving information to someone else. If you show them like this, the telephone number. I can take the pencil, sketch your face. All over the pencil is a tool to create art. I can take the pencil and stab you with the pencil. It's still a pencil, but it's a tool for murderer. And so it's a medium. It doesn't have anything else. Well, it's if you are schooled for that medium, if you're taught right, that's the first thing I'm teaching the kids to sketch. Because I want to spray. Say what? Yeah, I want to spray something. It's like no wrong thing. It's like I want to play music. You have no idea how to play an instrument. Yeah, but I want to play music. No one wants to listen to that. Same thing visually. No one wants to look at something like spray paint runs. Wow, that's fun. But no one wants to watch it. People want to see that you actually can sketch. What I do the most in schooling, teaching the kids how to sketch, what they see. The techniques of seeing something and converting this on a 2D platform with a pen. And when they are able to sketch something, and I teach them to sketch hands, faces, animals, trees, whatever they want. I'm asking them what you would like to learn to sketch. It's not for me. Normally it's like letterings. I'm teaching them about how to shape letterings. But we come from that point, it's like they can go to the wall, they can every spray paint, every roller, every marker, unless they don't need to talk to me and by showing me their sketch. If I see their sketch, I see their abilities, how they can do this, and so they get every spray paint they want. But talking is nothing. It comes in here, drops out there. It's like, you tell me stories, what you want to do. It's like, tell me stories, what you want to play music, whatever, what sport you want to do. You're not doing it, you have no exercise. You need the exercise first, and that's an ability to sketch, not something like an app you can download. You need to have time, you have to sketch more and more and more. That cannot come by night.
We now want to talk about you as an artist and you as somebody who really decides for something. So where do you start? You have a wall first, you have a motive first, you have an idea first. Like, how is the process of your artwork?
It could be either, all of these things. I find a wall, I have to find a motive. I have a motive, I have to find a wall. Or I have an idea and carry it around in my sketchbook, and while I'm run around, I find the wall. So there is no that way or that way. If I'm working professionally, there is of course clients who have maybe some issues I'm working with, or they like issues I worked already on and they would like to have something similar. So it's all possible.
Okay, but so you really can, for me, graffiti is when I'm walking down the street and I see something and it's really political or it's illegal, but you are like a artist who has clients and stuff. How does this work? Like, do they call you and tell you I have a wall and I want you to paint it? Or?
Exactly like this. And graffiti is a media. It doesn't make any judgments. It's about the person who uses that media. Because it is like a screen. Like you can have, if For example, take a book. You have the Bible or you have Adolf Hitler's Mein Kampf. Yeah? Both are just books. Yeah? It's the content and the person who wrote this book or used the book who make this the meaning for it. So, but the book itself is just a medium, as graffiti itself is the medium of using public space. Not necessarily just with spray paint. There's a lot with spray paint, not just necessarily with this. It could be anything. The material doesn't matter. It's public space. Even if it's legal or illegal, in the first point, nothing matters. You can ask somebody about the wall if you can paint. You can't, if you don't want to. If you want to just take it at night, that's something else. There's more adventure to it. You do it as well. It's the person who uses the medium who gives the definition. Okay.
So I would suggest we go outside and have a look at one of your paintings or graffitis. Mm-hmm. It's a little bit up, so we need to walk a bit. As we are in the Werksviertel, which is a creative hotspot, as I said before, and a lot of construction works are going on, it's quite loud. This is what we want to talk about. When did you do it? When did you paint it?
Before the building got knocked down, I did it as an interior painting with the knowing it's going to knock down and remain like that. So I had my studio for 17 years up there. That's part of my old studio. And I moved now downstairs, as you see, but I used everything that was there already, knowing which was the wall that would face actually the outside. And what I did is also I just used a couple of overlaps. These are scrap paints. I had a little bit left of blue, probably a half a liter, not even, and green, and a lot of water. So what you see is basically a painting I just did with a roller. The sky, the landscape is all just one green with all these different whatever, the adding of water, some more, some less. Some no water at all, which is the very dark green. And what I'm doing is I'm doing letterings. Well, this is a landscape, but my letterings LOOMIT is the base of the letter. And this is what you see, like, of course, with a little elements of these paper folded Pegasus horses, the rainbow, all this. Little things I was playing around, because this was just about in wintertime. It was no heating at all, but it was interior thing, so there was no weather problems, and so the whole house was empty. It was just a rundown place. It was very easy to paint for me because it used to be my studio. I knew everything, and I invited some guests on the right. So we use a lot of things that this area gives us, and we know there's a process. It has been industry for 50 years or like 60 years, and now we're in this process of forming this to a new quartier, new neighborhood that is more or less like a living neighborhood, less than a factory. There's no productions anymore.
And like when we talk it content-wise, what's the message behind this? Is there a message behind it, or is it?
The message was I have to get rid of this scrap blue and the scrap green.
Okay. That's it.
That's it.
And like the horses and the rainbow that just popped up your mind, and you said, okay.
Wow, these are very iconic things of Pegasus and rainbows. It's more or less like something like a girlish thing or whatever, and I like to break these ideas of how graffiti has to look like. Or people will look at the graffiti in the streets, as you say, and they always think about this must be a man who has done this. And now this is like a new project. What you hear in the background, we have a lot of artists I invented, and it's all female artists.
There's a festival going on. You said that before. It's the Hands of the Wall Festival, which is the biggest female graffiti festival in the world. Or in Europe.
Right now in Europe, I would not know, because I'm not really good in informing things. But you see, like, if people know about street art with Hera from Hera Kut, which is quite a high number. So it's not something like we on a low base. And most of the events for female artists I know were very small events.
Okay.
And it's sort of like, I'm not feeling very comfortable, because I know my female colleagues and I know how big and how good they are. And I was thinking, like, I have to make a change and I met Caro Taschler, and she's the organizer of that. And we're friends for about 10 years already. And I'm following this. And they knocked down this part of the building. So this is an interior. It used to be an interior wall. So 2 years ago, and I used the opportunity just to call Caro and say, maybe I want to have it a little bit bigger. All the women should not paint just small side bits and pieces. I want to give them something big. And so they...
But to understand, is this a big wall for you?
For me, it is a big wall. There's bigger ones if you go like 8 stories or 10 stories. Also, that's very big. But this is a very comfortable size. It is big. It's not too big. It's sort of like for people who would see it first, it is big, yeah. But we are very experienced artists, and also the ladies are very experienced. They're pros, they're professionals, yeah. And they used to do big walls, and they used to use these machines, but they're more or less in the scene, invisible, because you can judge if, like you see, as I told you, graffiti. You look at it, and it's like there must be a man behind it, and I know how many women there are on the street on graffiti, and how invisible this is.
Do you have a number? Like how high is the percentage? You don't know.
It's different from country to country. There is more and more younger women coming into this because in general, they're the better in sketching. Girls are more into sketching things, which is the base of all this, yeah? A lot of guys think, oh, I can't sketch, just give me the spray pen, I do something. The macho thing, it's cool, but no one wants to look at it unless he's developing something because he realizes, oh, I need to sketch maybe at least my tags, my writing and my handwriting, yeah? But from the female part, there's much more artists coming from the female part who are really good in sketching already. And this makes the big difference.
Can you really say what's the difference between?
No, there is no difference. That's why I'm saying you can't judge, oh, this is done by a male or a female. It is not possible. Of course, this with the eyes, it might give you an idea, maybe there's a woman behind, but there's also male artists who would do just the same, more or less girlish style, but it's male artists, yeah? And there's female artists who do in the wild styles, who would never think like, oh, a girl wouldn't do like wild style lettering, which is a typical thing, train bombing, train painting and everything. And there's a lot of women doing this as well, and they're good at this. But no one comes to the ideas like, oh, there's women behind it, because it looks, oh, it has always been young men who was doing this. Not anymore. The time has changed, definitely.
And how many women do we have here now working?
Right now, at the moment, I'd say something 15 or 16. We have some of the ladies are already done, so they leave. But right now, we should be 16. Not we, they should be 16. I'm just here for the techniques. I'm not painting anything on the wall.
So you're supporting, like telling them I would do it like that, or suggesting?
I'm responsible for colors, for lifts, anything they need technically. Not the artistic part. That's Caro Taschler's thing. She organizes the artists where to put what. She is the director. I'm sort of the cameraman.
And the festival moved, I heard, from Vienna to Munich this year. Why did this happen?
Why Vienna was, the Ittenplatz it was a one-day small walls event. And for me, this was why just a one-day small wall event, why most of the guys do 1 week big walls on the other side since years. It's kind of a things like I needed to convince. She was not. There was no necessity to convince her. I said like we have this wall, and she said yes, I'm moving.
And for how long are the artworks now staying on this wall? Like
it could be gone tomorrow if some kids come by and spray paint. This is not a locked up area. Yeah, we have always a public place. I'd say these buildings remain for the next 2 years for sure, maybe 3 or 4 years. I mean, there will be a huge building planned here for lots of people living in there.
Okay. And how does it feel for you as an artist when, like, you kind of give the artwork to the public, right? When it's done and you leave and it could happen whatever. How does this feel?
Well, up to the next wall. I mean, we're not living in the past. If you would be so eager to keep your piece beautiful and everybody's watching, you're probably not doing a lot of walls. I mean, you do a wall and then the best wall is always the next one. You're never satisfied. A good artist is like, okay, I'm satisfied for a bit, but there's more. So we have the urge to do more. And that's graffiti. The public space can be taken by everybody. And we were born in this, that there's no such guarantee that you can keep this place forever. The only thing is about the size. I mean, no one can jump up there and slash a piece or whatever. So if you're working up high, you might have the guarantee it will stay longer. The bigger, the longer, because it takes a mighty long time, a lot of work to cover something like this.
Let's walk a bit and have a look at more of the paintings. Can you say something about the motifs, or is it?
Well, every artist has certain subjects. For example, Vija Wanner from Austria, she's very good in bodies of animals, as you see. So she works something about with the deers here. Then you have Caro Pepe, and she's portrait. She's into portraits, as you see. So every artist has a subject. I'm more like portrait painter, landscape painter. As the classical things, it's the same in the business of street art and graffiti. Everybody has more like graphics, more style writing, more. As you see, the next one, the Anita from Anna T. Iron, she's more into graphics.
And this, what you see here, is it painted or sprayed?
The background is rolled, and everything that has small surfaces on color, like the blues, the orange, that's spray paint. Everything that's basically less than 1 square meters in one size is spray paint. Caro herself, she is the organizer. And as you see, the fox, she's doing ceramics. She's not painting, she's a sculptor, a street sculptor. She learned how to use clay from early stage on. Her mother was a professional in this. And what she does, she combines the graffiti in the background with her pottery work. And she does a lot of animals and big size. I mean, she did characters like you see just the head of a fox, but she did work which is the whole fox in the same size.
Okay.
Dinosaurs, 3 meters, bears, big ones. I mean, this is actually something small she does. And then you have Elunis on top. She does it's not a butterfly, it's a moth basically. Okay. And she's into calligraphy. The whole moth will be just filled with calligraphy and with patterns. And this is all done with brush, it's not spray paint. So that's Beastie styles from Munich. So we have a lot of international artists, but we have also a local artist. And as you see, like she's very in her colors, like a little bit girlish with the flowers, and she does it in a very ironic side and very nicely painted. And you see all the varieties. The next one is Castle. She's into stencils, of course, like something else. And what's left over here, all this will be paste ups and tiles sometimes. So we have all these different materials. Yeah? And this is also in this festival we want to show not just like the women are painting or sculpturing or whatever. It is all different styles and branches of street art we have as well here. Then we have all generations. We have Lunis, for example, up there, probably one of the youngest, something or
what means young?
Maybe if we ask Juma, I think like 24, okay. 25. We have a birthday kid yesterday. She turned 28. I mean, shouldn't talk about her age, but probably already 60, 61. We have Eulen Holm from Switzerland, so we go like a range of about 40 years.
Oh, wow.
All different materials and all different ages here.
There was actually a question from the live stream, and they're asking, what do you think? How did graffiti art develop in the past years? Like, did it change a lot?
It was always changing. There was never a time where I said like, yeah, graffiti stayed the same from 1983 till 1999. There was always every year. Every new piece means a new step in the development because you always try maybe something new, a new motive, and new techniques. So that means a new step. Development is not coming overnight. It's coming piece by piece by piece. But these ladies never stopped in painting. So there will be step, 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 step. And it's changing all the time. It's basically what's all combining is using public space. And as long there is public space, as long there's juvenile behavior, there will be graffiti. She's probably one of the youngest.
This graffiti is one of the youngest artists?
No, the artist would be one of the youngest, yeah. I guess.
One of the next artist at work, let's say it like that. Probably we will
Tina,
have a look
Switzerland.
from Switzerland.
Yes, from Switzerland. And we have Tina here and Gamze from Turkey over there. So this is like a good example of all the international connections we have here.
And how does it work? You invite the women and you pay them a hotel, or do they get like a? How do they? From what they live like?
They live from their art, but this festival, we started this festival with zero budget. We had the wall. Tina, thank you. We had the wall. And we had one lift. The yellow cherry picker is the lift from the area I can use, like from all the technicians here, whatever. And since we don't have concerts, we don't have anything public here, I could use the lift. There's no problem because there's no work we have to do. There's no public here. So I had the wall, I had a lift. Caro had the network with all the women, and we have a hotel here, which is run by Sabrina and Alessandro Gambino, and Sabrina is very much also for the empowerment of women. So for me it was like, hey, there's an Oktoberfest, you wouldn't have guests there, so have you got rooms? Yes, we have rooms. Well, there's about 15 to 18 women we would like to invite. We have no money at all, I'm sorry for that, but they're painting great things. It took like a night to sleep over, and the next morning I had the call from the manager from the hotel, how many girls, when are they coming? So they realized like we're trying to make something here that's a little bit bigger. We try to keep this festival maybe for the next couple of years as well. And everybody realized this, so everybody helps. All of a sudden we get more lifts because there's also a couple of women working here for the management who are actually dealing with the construction side, who have, of course, ties to the guys who rent these machines. So it comes to a short things like people talk. There's a good connection about people here on the premises at all. Like we're a little village, everybody knows everybody, and everybody realizes, oh, this is something interesting. I can help a little bit here. I can talk to this. We can maybe ask this. So it came together. All of a sudden, yes, we had the lifts. We have the rooms, we have a little bit of food, and we are like with the zero budget, we still with zero. There's no money we can make with this because it's only in the internet for.
But it's a platform.
It's a platform, but we're all happy. Okay. See, that's like we're enjoying and we do artwork, and this will stay here for longer. I mean, 2 years at least, if it's not 3 or 4.
So you would say even like Munich is known for being a rich city, gentrification is going on, but you still feel it's a graffiti street art friendly city?
Yes, because Munich in general is very open to art. We have a lot of very important museums here in Munich, and in general the public is very sensible to art. And in Bavaria, which Munich is the capital of, you get away with things even if they look good. It's a little bit the Italian influence with the Bella Figura here, and it works out with the street art. They know illegally done, but it looks good. You have it sometimes in newspaper when they write, yeah, they damaged this, but it looks good.
Where else can we go in Munich to watch graffitis?
Oh, there's quite a lot of things. We have at the other part the Donnersberger Brücke, which is a huge bridge over the train tracks with a lot of columns. And a lot of columns. And this is the city itself who gave it to the graffiti guys. So the city itself, we work together with the department for low constructions. That's what it's called, for 20 years already. Because these guys realized we can paint all this white. In 1 week, it looks the same. And they knew this, and we asked them about 22 years ago, just like a couple of guys went there, it's like, maybe we can do something legal. And the answer is, why haven't you come earlier? And since that talk, they're very open-minded because they know exactly, well, we can make it look good like this, or we can always paint it white and it would never look good. And this is where the city of Munich is also a little bit ahead of other cities. There's public, like officially bureaucracy, Munich, like thinking combined with the writers, and they trust each other. The city trusts us because they see the artwork. It's like, okay, you're capable to do this. Like, of course we can give you this underpass if you're not doing sexism, racism, whatever. We know this, the city makes it that easy for us. really easy. The accessibility for, if you're a good artist, if you have a concept, it takes you half an hour and you have the permission.
Okay.
And it's not something like you have to write a lot.
That's fast, yeah.
It is very fast. If you're good, you get away with a lot of things.
How long you need to do this? How much time?
Taina, du brauchst 3 Tage für das, oder? 4 days.
4 days. So she said she needs 4 days. She's saying she planned that for weeks and did a lot of sketches and yeah.
Just what I said. It's all in the plan. It's not about something spontaneous graffiti. I do a spray paint and I'm creative. It's not working like this. It's a plan.
Let's have a last look at the painting from the Turkish artist, right?
She's probably having her coffee now. It's not a nice surface. I mean,
yeah, that seems to be very difficult because you have this
Trapezblech. Spray paint can do this, but it's like that's probably the only thing. With a brush, it's horrible to do this. And she has exactly that gate actually to make everything flat. But Gamze is very graphic, and she can work with this the best. So I'm a little bit like I show the artists the walls, and they decide themselves which wall would suit the artwork the best. And for this wall, I said like, well, maybe not the best surface, but the best audience you can think, because like when this is running, everybody's just standing here in front of the piece. And so, Gamze, that's her. No, it's not her. I thought it was.
So and she's like taping it.
Some
is taped and sprayed then.
Yeah. Some. Not everything. You have also like this is all freehand. That's not taped. You see like it's crooked. It's not quite straight. Yeah. But if you need a big straight, you use of course tape. And on metal, the tape remains a little bit longer than maybe on walls that just like fall down.
And do you have problems with vandalism here?
We are vandals, so we know all the techniques of the vandalism because we use them ourselves. So if there's vandalism, we know how to solve the problem of vandalism because we do just the same techniques on top of the same vandalism.
So the answer to vandalism is vandalism?
Well, it's basically patience. You just know there's young guys who need to show their young stallions who have to have the testosterone coming out, and they need to prove that they're more rebels than you are. Of course, for about 3 years, and then you get a girlfriend, and you have probably a job, and then your life will change. So, as I said, like juveniles will never die out, as we as human beings are on this planet. So there will be always graffiti in public spaces.
Okay. So Loomit, thank you very much for sharing your work and your thoughts on graffiti with us.
You're welcome.
Thanks to you from priceless.com following us on our tour. There will be another event on the 19th of October. We will visit the Highlights International Art Fair together. And I hope you're joining us again. And I wish you a pleasant afternoon. Enjoy it. Bye.